When you think of animal rescuers, you probably picture fully grown men and women bravely going about their jobs. Indeed, children most likely wouldn't spring to mind at all, unless you're thinking of some random stray that follows them home. But this little boy did more than just plead to keep a lost puppy. In fact, he is changing the world, one stray dog at a time. Ken Amante was just 8 years old when he started working to save animals from the streets of Davao City in the southern Philippines. What's more, a year later, social media noticed the touching actions of this junior rescuer, and he received international acclaim from animal lovers around the world. Amon's passion for animal rescue started when he noticed the large amount of stray animals in his area. He subsequently created a club for kids so that they could work together and make a difference. However, caring for animals took on an even greater importance for the little boy when he heard about what happened to strays kept in the pound for too long. The official at the pound said most dogs are put down because only 20 to 30% of owners claim their dogs, and no animal welfare organization was doing something about it, Amante wrote on his website. The statistics struck Amante, so he decided to do something about it himself. "I want to save as many of those dogs as possible from being killed for no reason," he said. He began by feeding the stray dogs that he encountered on the streets of his city. In February 2014, for example, the boy's father took a picture of his big-hearted son giving 3 stray pups some food and shared it on social media. Suddenly, Amante became an internet sensation, and people from all over the world united for the little boy's cause. Some even sent him donations to help him look after the homeless animals better. Some very kind people who saw these pictures donated money to help me care for the dogs, Amante explained. "We got enough money to get the dogs I was feeding off the street, feed them high-quality canned food, and provide them with veterinary care." His dream had always been to set up a shelter for the strays he took off the streets, but he knew his vision was a distant one. "My dad told me it would take a lot of money and 20 years, he explained. He said only grown-ups can raise enough money to start an animal shelter. But there was an alternative, and Amante decided to set up a temporary shelter in his garage that he called the Happy Animals Club. The first members were the 3 dogs that gave him internet fame. He named them Brownie, Blackie, and White Puppy. "I came up with the idea for the Happy Animals Club when I was thinking that there may be more kill shelters than actual shelters for animals," Amante said. He started caring for the animals himself, and before long he was seeing positive results from his dedication and hard work. In fact, under Amante's supervision, those first stray dogs recovered quickly from their time on the streets. They gained a lot of weight, their open wounds healed, and their fur grew back. They also learned not to be scared of humans, he said. As more people sent him donations, then, Amante invested further into what was once only a wild idea. And against all expectations, he soon had enough money to rent out a large space for the shelter. So it was that on May 1, 2014, the Happy Animals Club, HAC, was born in full. A lot of money had to be spent fixing the place up and adding facilities for the animals. But now young Amante had an official shelter for his strays. And he didn't just take in dogs. No, he made room in the HAC shelter for cats and any other animal that needed his help too. Curiously, Amante employed a free-range policy for the HAC shelter. The dogs are not kept in cages unless they are ill or there is some other good reason, Amante wrote. The cats have a very big living area solely for them. All of the dogs and cats at Happy Animals Club are very happy animals. Not surprisingly, Amante is always on the job. In late 2014, for example, he found a litter of 6 dogs starving near his local church. Of course, the HAC founder was prepared, and he fed the pups with the dog food that he kept in his dad's car for emergencies. The pups were so weak, though, that Amante didn't know if all of them would pull through. But after some food and care at the HAC, all of the pups made a full recovery. Amante named them after famous scientists, and thanks to him, Bohr, Einstein, Newton, Pascal, Planck, and Tesla were given another chance at life. Later, in a twist of fate, a stray cat was found trapped in a veterinary clinic's attic. Amante offered to take the kitty, which he named Ceiling, and under the shelter's care, the weak, starving cat healed up into a food-loving fusspot. Still, perhaps the biggest challenge for the HAC's founder was Eclipse the cow. The boy saw her in a field with rope digging into the flesh of her nose and maggots in the wound. Thanks to his donors, however, Amonte was able to negotiate with Eclipse's 3 owners for her freedom. Eclipse was taken to the HAC shelter, where she could eat all the grass she wanted. At first, she was reluctant to let anyone touch her head, and it took some time for her to trust the HAC staff enough to treat her wounds. Eventually, though, she relented, and now she loves being scratched behind her horns. Today, Amonte and his HAC shelter continue to rescue animals, thanks largely to donations and the support of the group's incredible staff members. Eventually, they aim to upgrade the shelter to save even more lives in the future. You can find out more about the amazing charity online too.